where we look at leadership and strategy, particularly at a time where we're experiencing one of the biggest and highly impactful pandemics, COVID-19, novel coronavirus, which is adversely affecting the globe and even down to Nigeria. As you all know, the strategic management program has always been 3 p.m., but we've now revised it, and to make it broader in terms of conversations, we now have it every Saturday morning by 11 a.m. With me to discuss and look at a very interesting series and discussion on growth mindset. The need to have a growth mindset, ideas that will help you thrive, is Mr. John Wesey, the CEO of psyntech Nigeria Limited and a strategy management consultant. Good morning to you, and nice to see you. Happy Saturday.
Same here.
It's a nice weekend.
Thank God.
Yes, a lot to look at. But before we begin our conversation, we'd like to give you the updates currently on Nigeria's COVID-19 cases. At the moment, there are 3,912 confirmed COVID-19 cases in Nigeria, with 679 people discharged. That's 679 recoveries and 117 deaths. That's a spike so far of over 800 just in this week, and that shows you how things are. Don't forget that it was in this week that the federal government gave states that capacity, that power to begin to ease and reopen the economy and manage the process of the COVID-19 easing in terms of lockdowns. And we have seen that in Lagos State, there were very interesting things that happened right from Monday, when the announcement of how people's movement would be during the period came to the fore. And so we will begin with that conversation, Mr. John Wesey. I mean, the gradual easing of the economy is not just in Nigeria, but across the globe. And there has been a lot of contemplation, debates on how it should be done. For example, in the UK, we expect that by May 7, there will be gradual easing, though it's being debated by top ministers. Even the Foreign Secretary, Dominic Raab, is still concerned about that easing because of the situations they're seeing. But let's look at Nigeria. We've had over 800 cases now in this week. And prior to this discussion today, you were saying that shouldn't be a major issue. What for you are the major issues based on this spike you're seeing and the concerns that maybe the federal government, through the Federal Task Force, chaired by the Secretary of the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, they may be looking at again, reviewing these guidelines?
Thank you, Otto, and good morning, viewers.
Yeah.
I think if you ask me, like you've done, the spike, the increase in number is expected. Why? Because we are doing more tests.
Okay.
Because we are conducting more tests, so we are seeing the likelihood, and we've seen a whole of people passing away as a result of this in different states, Kano, and
Lagos, and other states. Yeah.
And other states. So I think the spike in confirmed cases, for some of us, that's expected, because the more tests you do, the more you will discover. You get the point?
Yeah.
And then they can now know what other strategies that can be used for us to manage this season that we are in. Okay, so I am not as alarmed, but what that tells me is to be more careful. So every one of us, you've got to be more careful. This is very important. So because if you're not sure, the moment somebody enters a bus or a taxi or an Uber or whatever, leaves his house to another place, something may have happened. I was at ShopRite yesterday.
How was the experience?
It was okay. It was fine. But you could see where we are trying to make some payments at the teller, at the cashier point. You could see there was two ladies who were in front of me. They were carried away. They were just, so the person that was next to them on the queue for us to pay, the madam gave a very wide distance, and I was saying, madam, but you are the next in line. He said, these people don't understand what is happening. So you could see the consciousness. I was impressed. I was in a safe distance, at least I think so. All right. So it's.
And how was the face mask anyway? People
everywhere.
In the shop like that,
you couldn't even get into ShopRite without your face mask on. Which was good. You couldn't get into the shops without your face mask on. And I drove around Lagos. Well, not around Lagos. I went out to do a couple of stuff, and people were with their face mask. So I thought that was good. But the next thing is the social distancing. For us to keep those...
The images we put earlier this week on the banks, I know that...
Well, that was because it was just...
the financial...
Yes, because people's ATM cards had expired, or their ATM cards were not working, or their payments they made, they were not reversed. Every kobo is important now.
Of course, very important.
Very important. So that was the anxiety and the relief people wanted to at least get down. I think by Thursday, from what I gather, that rush had reduced a little bit, because people could now see and all. But that is putting so much, that's another talk for another day, it's putting so much work on the banks that from what I gather, most of the banks had done a 60% capacity to say their operations.
Because the banks also have to follow guidelines. They have to also...
Yes, but they were under pressure.
Yes, they're under pressure, yeah.
Because of
like
one,
sector.
More people were coming to ask for cash. Yeah. So they did not... but I think everybody is learning along the way. Okay? I think everyone is learning along the way. To come to Lagos, Lagos numbers should not surprise anyone.
We are technically, in terms of population, estimated as at 2016, 2017, when we had an interview with the Commissioner of Budget and Planning, now DG of the budget, that's Mr. Ben Akabweze. We're looking at that time 18 million population. So if we have about 2,000 cases, that's at 0.001 in terms of significant impact on the population. But that is something that must not be taken lightly to.
Every life
counts.
Yes, is important.
Yes,
every life is important.
Yeah.
And but we must also commend Lagos State and other states too. I think as the reality, you could see what is happening in Kaduna State. The governor El Rufai had to climb a truck to ascertain.
He was giving instructions, ensuring that things were in
place. He was there on the road because he's been through it. Somebody said, you cannot understand what I'm going through until you've experienced it. Yeah. So he knows what that means and the way it has spread, and some people that have gone to it. So I think if our people can continuously keep to the guidelines, all right, I think we'll learn to live with it until we could get a vaccine. Yeah. Because the key is learning to live with it. I think that's the mindset, okay, which I am going to share later on. Yeah. Learning to live with it. Then you talked about the easing. What do we think is going to happen by next week or that kind of... I don't think the government will relax the easing. You see why am I saying this?
Because, even the World Bank has acknowledged that African nations have huge informal sectors. And these informal sectors are very critical to the economy. So how they are managed is very critical to the whole process of the lockdown, balancing health and economy.
Yeah, the reason is because over the years, all of those who have been in leadership in Africa, all right, they have impoverished the people more, all right, that is the system more than enrich it. That's why you see the inequality, the gap in inequality is so huge. Yes. Now it is done in my quiet time when I reflect, I ask myself some small questions. Yeah. If I have found myself in leadership until now, how would I have behaved? How would I have behaved? I'm sure. So I'm asking all of our friends who are in leadership and who have been, how have you, in one way or the other, supported to impoverish the system? So that's why we are seeing. So that's why, if you say you want to lock down, there will be chaos. Sorry, anarchy. Yes, anarchists like to come. To come. Because even in the UK that you're talking about, the people want to go out. They are tired. They also have people who live on daily.
Even the ministers are now even disagreeing among themselves.
Yes, because
health minister, foreign secretary, they're all just concerned.
The reason is because their constituents are talking to them. Yeah, you get the point. But here, our members in the legislative house, are they in touch with their people? No. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. They're not in touch. There's a wide gap, right? There's a wide gap. So I don't think the government will slow down. We'll do another week. I think we'll do another week.
Of a lockdown?
Yeah, of the partial
lockdown.
Okay. Yeah. all right? So until they can see.
The scenarios.
I think it is the outcome of this new week we're going to enter that will determine next steps. I think so. That will determine next steps to see whatever it's happening. So I think
because nationally there are concerns from reports that Lagos alone 120,000 may hit. The cases may come up by July if not well managed, and even other states adding up, maybe getting to over 100 or 200,000 in the country.
Well, I will doubt that figure.
Okay. Can you share with us your
yes,
reasons?
Unless we can ramp up. If you're going to have the estimate of 120,000 by July from the estimate that is said, all right? So what daily test do you think you will be doing?
Because now, this is May. We're looking at June,
yes,
then
so
July. Okay.
What is your test capacity or your testing capacity today? So that's what does. Unless we can be doing, say, about 10,000, 5 to 10,000 tests per day. 10,000
per day.
You get the point. In Lagos alone, I'm not talking about nationally.
Okay.
So in Lagos alone. So if we are able to do, if Lagos is able to do 5 to 10,000 tests per day, okay, then that estimate, that projection is probably possible. You get the point. So if they do that, then they could have that kind of number. But here they are crying they don't have reagents. They are crying they don't have enough test kits. They are running out of test kits. They are crying that they are still having problems. Maybe they've resolved those now, and I will be glad if they have. Resolving those who can produce the reagents for them locally, because I understand they're having issues of fee, pricing with them and all that. So that's the, I think that estimate is rather, it's scary. When I saw it, I only asked questions, but I'm sure they have their models that they are using, and they probably have discovered, or they found out that they could do X number of testing per day, across the state to do that, as the case may be. But if I were at them, I think they mentioned it in one of the programs that I watched. We should increase our communication, our engagement.
Leadership and communication is one thing that people keep emphasizing from you and other of our guests. And yes, it's...
that should be front, middle, center, back.
With all the
of
available
everything.
Platforms and in different languages, in rural areas, everywhere.
In the markets, in the markets, they should do that. If you get into ShopRite, for example, the announcement is consistent. Please maintain social distancing. Please do this. Please do that. So in case you peradventure forget yourself briefly, when you hear the announcement, the consciousness comes to say, okay, let me exercise this caution. If we do that consistently, we are learning to live with this virus. Is this virus going to go away? No, it's not going to go away. But we're going to find a way to, manage its impact in terms of its infection rate. As we know better, as WHO and all the scientists, involved in this thing that they are trying to do that. So that's what I think we will do. That's what I think. I'm excited about the opportunities. I'm excited about what I see my country doing across the board. I'm excited. The numbers may not be encouraging. We're looking at our histories in various other areas,
epidemics and all that.
But I'm excited, and I thank those of our health personnel,
frontline health workers,
who have braved
other people
the current
support this period.
Everyone who have braved the current season to be offering this service. It is not easy. You don't know how it's going to hit you. So I think that's the point. If you look at the concerns in the UK, the concerns in Spain, the concerns in Italy, the concerns in the US, it's still the same. People are hungry. Look at the number of unemployed.
20 million. This is the worst
in April.
Since the Great Depression. That's what they said, And 2 million in Canada. So you can be thinking of even people that you know there, friends, cousins,
I'm aware.
children, and all that.
I'm aware. I'm aware. I can tell you that I'm aware,
It's really a challenging time, and yes, we're even evacuating people and all that. And that leads us to our discourse today, because you hear job losses, job cuts and all that, and this is a period to have a growth mindset with ideas that will help you thrive, because people are going to really face challenges.
That's
and
true.
They need to rethink business models, strategies, life, managing their life period and all that. So I'll lead you to your conversation, sir, because it's quite critical at this time.
Thank you, Otto.
Yeah.
Hello, viewers. It's nice to be back. I hope your week has been good. They say, tough times don't last, but tough people do. Everyone is talking about one thing, both in their individual lives and in corporate entities. There is only one phrase everybody is talking about today, or one word: growth. So if organizations are thinking about growth, if our nation is thinking about growth, or if nations are thinking about growth, you as an individual should think about growth. And that's why I want to talk about growth mindset in this series that I'm starting. I am hoping that if you follow and think about some of the ideas I'm going to share, right, you will thrive. And that's what I have. Generally, we say there are two types of mindsets, all right? We have those that have fixed mindsets and those that have growth mindsets. In this season, you are most likely tempted, to be confined in the fixed mindset domain. And I'm saying you don't need to do that, because if you stay there, okay, if you and I stay there, we are likely to face the pressures that we didn't bargain for. And it could lead to health issues. It could lead to you not being able to move forward. It could lead to you begin to suffer depression. And I'm saying everyone is thinking about growth. Nations are thinking about growth. Organizations are thinking about growth. So why shouldn't you think about growth? So if we recognize that there are two kinds of mindsets, that there are two kinds of people or two kinds of organizations in the world, you should begin to look at this. And let me share with you some of the characteristics about those people who have the kind of mindsets and the characteristics. We generally could say that they are into 6 if we begin to look at the characteristics of mindsets, okay? How do they see skills? How do they see intelligence? How do they see their personality? What is their main focus between someone that has a fixed mindset and someone that has a growth mindset? How do they see effort? How do they view challenges? How do they receive feedback? And how do they take mistakes? Earlier I told you there are 2 types of mindset. Now let's look at what the mindset for those that we say have fixed mindset, what they are. How do they see skills, intelligence, and personality? Those that have fixed mindsets, because you may say now, because we are going through a unique season, okay, that there's nothing you can change. This is the way God has created you. That is true. But God did not make you a robot. Robots are programmed to deliver what they are meant to deliver. You, a human being, you are not programmed to do that. So people with fixed mindsets, we say they have set minds, that they believe that what you have is what you have, so it cannot be improved upon. You probably may be thinking that there's nothing you can do about the current situation. Oh, I didn't go to school. Oh, my company is this. Oh, I've been asked to leave. Remember in the series I started, I talked to you about what you need to do to get moving in your career post-lockdown. If you recall, if you've been following us, you could go to our website, WebTV NG website, and look at the series. What is the main focus of people who have fixed mindset? They believe that it is how you look, your appearance, your presence, or some kind of history. That's their focus. That it is how you look that determines how people will embrace you, will talk to you, or want to show love to you, or want to attend to you, as the case may be. Yes. But the question I'm asking you is, are you still the same way from the day you were given birth? The answer is no. So why should you allow that kind of mindset? Effort. If you look at the effort characteristics, people with fixed mindsets say something you do when you are not good. That's okay, you just try and do something because you're not feeling well. Or you just put in effort to get things done. How do they see challenges? They easily give up. They check out. They leave with a small resistance or with a small obstruction, with a small challenge, like we all are seeing now, okay? Some of us have given up hope. And I'm saying that's a fixed mindset that you have, okay? Now, if you go to any of your religious organizations, wherever you fellowship, maybe you go to the shrine, you go to the mosque, you go to the church, wherever you go to get yourself spiritually fed, you know, what are they always telling you? They are telling you to have what? Faith. But before you have faith, they tell you to do what? To develop hope, something to expect on. So if you are thinking that with a little challenge that we currently are having, that there is no way out, I am telling you there is a way out. So you need to wake up out of that mindset that you have, which is fixed, and begin to grow to a growth mindset. How do they see feedback? People who have fixed mindset. Most times, people who have fixed mindset, depending on where you are, they feel threatened. They feel that their confidence is kicked down. Maybe they made a mistake, or maybe they didn't do well, or maybe they are even their bosses, and that has hampered our growth as a nation, okay? Where we have this command and control, where people are not flexible with ideas. When you give somebody a feedback, you see it all over social media. Man, Twitter is another ball game altogether. You may disagree with me, okay, but it's not an opportunity for you to abuse me or to feel your position, your person is insulted or will diminish. We're only having a conversation. So when I give you a feedback, I am not criticizing you. I do not hate you. I'm only sharing my opinion of what I think about the issue that we are having conversation of. How do you see yourself when somebody disagrees with you, or when somebody gives you a feedback on how you currently are doing? How do you feel? So if you feel threatened for every feedback that you're given, we say you have a fixed mindset. And it's going to be hard for you to grow. It's going to be hard for you to change. The world is going through a dramatic change. We are not going to remain the same mentally. The system is changing, okay? You've heard, for example, people are losing jobs, okay? People are being sacked. Companies have closed down. Now, the federal government of Nigeria is trying to bail out the airlines. Why do you think they are doing that? Do you know how much they lose a day? I mean, the nearest estimate I got recently, I read somewhere, how true that is, I do not know, that they are losing as much as 21 billion naira. Whether it's a week or a day or a month, I can't remember, but that much. Do you know how much that is? So whenever you get a feedback or whenever you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. Don't hate people who make mistakes, neither should you hate yourself. Okay? Or because you made a mistake previously, you now want to start avoiding, oh, will you come and do this? Because you made a previous mistake or an error, it could have been fatal. You don't want to approach that task any longer. That's a fixed mindset. You are not going to grow. But people who have growth mindsets, what are their characteristics? They believe skills, intelligence, personality can be developed. They believe anything can be learned. It doesn't matter age, it doesn't matter time, it doesn't matter location. They believe that as far as skills, intelligence, or personality involved, if I need to develop a particular kind of personality trait, okay, all I need is I have a belief that this thing, I can learn it. I can learn it and gain these skills. For example, if you look at the current job profile, the current career trend now, you shouldn't be told, especially if you are a graduate of any school, even if you attended secondary school today, nobody should be telling you how to operate the PC. That is already given. What do they focus? People who have growth mindset, they believe that learning helps me to get better. What's your focus? What's your main focus? Do you believe that every opportunity is an opportunity for you to learn to get better? How do they see effort? They believe that every effort that they make, whether a mistake emerges out of that effort or not, is part of your process for learning, for improving, for getting better. You may not get the result that you want now. Maybe you started a business, okay? Maybe you started a business the first time and it didn't go well. That does not say you should now resign to fate. No. You say, oh, this is the way it is. It is from my village. You know, the people in my village, it is one ancestral curse or something. And you begin to have spiritual implications certain things that maybe you didn't get some principles right. You didn't get some principles right. There are principles for for making the best out of whatever career or business that you are doing. You probably didn't get it right. People with growth mindset believe it is part of a learning. They don't give up. When they see those challenges, they persevere. They increase their endurance. They increase their fortitude. They increase their strength to believe. How do you see challenges, the current one that you're going through? If you have a growth mindset, you tell yourself, this is part of the learning I need to go through. This is part of the learning. I am learning every step of the way. So I need to persevere so that I can get the expectation that I have. Because if you have a growth mindset, they believe every feedback they get is to make them get better. Whether they like it or not, their mind is, whatever feedback Otto is giving me, for example, you know, it may be a rebuke. Don't forget, a feedback could be a rebuke. It could be an admonition, okay? It could also be something that could also lead to a sack. But the way I take it, it will determine how I will grow out of that feedback he's giving me. A feedback can be an admonition. It could be a rebuke. Don't see it negatively. I tell people, if you disagree with me, fine. I don't have a problem. That's why democracy is beautiful. I would choose democracy to a military regime any day. You know why? Because democracy is a what? It's a debate of ideas. Bring your ideas. You see the parties, they will come. This is our idea. This is our manifesto. This is why you should vote for us. This is what we're going to do. And that's why you see them in the National Assembly. The various people are debating their ideas to put for a particular bill before it becomes an act. How do they see mistakes? They see every mistake as learning opportunity. So the kind of mindset that you have, especially in this season, which in the last series that I did, I told you, we are in for a long haul. We are in for a long haul. You see every mistake. I'm not saying you should be repeating it. You see every mistake you've made along the way as what? As a learning opportunity. No matter the consequences that you currently are experiencing out of that mistake, don't dwell too much on the consequences. You will live through it, okay? But ask yourself, so how do I go? What am I learning from this? What will I stop doing? And what will I start doing? Because that's key for you. So people with growth mindsets, okay, this is the way they approach life. Sometimes you wonder, how come these people do this? And by the way, people with growth mindset, we say they are highly resilient. Yes. We say they are highly resilient individuals. Yes. So I'll stop here today. In the next time we meet, God keeping all of us, I will now be discussing more on different characteristics, things you need to begin to look at, opportunities. Because you've developed what? A growth mindset. You've told yourself you're going to persevere this season. You've told yourself every challenge you have now is part of your journey to getting better. Otto, that's today's conversation.
Well, I mean, it's really clear. Skills, personality, very important.
How people imagine it for them to grow.
Yes.
Do they see that, okay, maybe today I'm not computer literate, but that's the skill set that is needed for me to get employed. So what do I need to do? I must do whatever I can to get IT literate.
And then, you know, intelligence, which has to do with a lot of learning, because every day we must learn new things. I mean, we must create that time amidst the whole tight schedule and all the challenges to learn. And in that learning, we discover a lot of things.
Otto, you made a statement now, create the time. I'm going to talk about time management, you know, in this series.
Okay.
That is the greatest value, the greatest gift that God has given every one of us. You know, there is a statement in the Christian Bible. It says, both the rich, the poor, they have what? Time. The same time, the same currency. They have the same currency. This season will test your time management skills. It will test yours, it will test mine. What do I do with my time? How do I make use of it?
Yeah. And then the issue of perseverance and resilience, very important in this time, particularly for those that may have experienced disruptions in their business and jobs and opportunities, leaders who are facing the challenge of managing the economy at this time. Everyone, from leader to citizen, they must show that resilience and that perseverance, that determination that despite what we're experiencing, developing skills, building a personality, and also learning to be intelligent is very key at this time. Thank you very much. But you want to say something else?
No, nothing. Just to say that, please, you need to join us because I'll be sharing some stuff, some ideas that I am hoping, as you consider that, together whatever you're doing, it will help you overcome this season.
We really need a good mindset that will help us to
Absolutely.
thrive. That's the mindset we need. Thank you very much, Mr. John Wesey, for the time, and we look forward to another interesting conversation next Saturday, same time, 11 a.m. And that will be all for this edition of the Strategy Management Discourse, where we look at leadership and strategy. And today, we've got a series with Mr. John Wesey, our guest and CEO of psyntech Nigeria Limited, who is a strategy management consultant. The topic should interest you in this time of crisis. Growth mindset, ideas that will help you thrive. You can watch this video, highlights, on our website, www.proshareng.com, and WebTV. Also, this period, WebTV and ProShare, Nigeria's leading financial information hub, has packaged for you the Corona Central Watch, where you can get all the analysis and details of the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic and its spread from the national, state to the global level. Log on to www.proshareng.com/COVID-19 and you will get all those updates and analysis. Till we come your way again, thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and very important, stay safe.